to the family. Yeah. I had to let my old people go. Pray they don't get mad at me. Yeah.
What's going on, Freedom Fam? We are back with another episode. Man, here with my brother. We got a deep topic to talk about today. Powerful topic. I'm gonna let you kick it off.
I know they're wondering what it is.
Yeah.
And this is a sensitive topic for most, so I want to start off with that a lot of this has been misconstrued, broken, and it's hardened people's hearts. It's damaged lives, and it's love.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of people who've gone through a lot of heartache. Love has been misrepresented by their parents, by their I'm gonna get into it.
Hey, go ahead, man.
Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe
go
some
ahead.
pastors, some church folks, some relatives have destroyed what love should look like.
Mm.
And on behalf of us and the Freedom Fam, we're sorry that happened. And that wasn't God's intention or design for your life. And when we place people where God should be, it's gonna fail. And I think a lot of times, I know for myself, I've looked to my parents quite a bit to show me what love is. And it was misconstrued. Not even because they were trying to. They did their best. But it was a miss. It was a miss.
Yeah.
And I've picked up some damage along the way because of it.
Yeah.
That was a long so love love is the topic.
It's actually our second pod on love too. Because we talked about how they lied about love. And now we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into it. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because when we can just rest, knowing that we're loved and that we're enough, and God sees you, you're special, you're one of one, you're fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God. You don't need to strive. You just need to be. And when you can just be and be yourself, there's freedom that comes with that. And that's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
The Freedom Fam pod.
Yeah.
We want you to be free. Jump in, double dutch.
Hey, man. I mean, I don't know. Is there somewhere you want to start when it comes to love?
Yes, actually, that's a great. We need to start with where love is not.
Yeah.
To help us figure out what love is, we need to figure out what love isn't. And I'll start off with love isn't your feelings. We can run with that. Love isn't what your mom and dad told you or showed you.
Yeah.
Love isn't like the only place true love can actually come from is from the Father. And so I think starting with what love isn't helps kind of cast all that away so we can cast on what is. So yeah, love isn't your feelings, which is crazy because I feel like a lot of us are driven by our feelings. Love isn't Hollywood,
Yeah.
what they've made it out to be. So we could dive into that, and then kind of once we've pushed out the lies, we can focus on the truth.
Yeah, I think like love for a lot of people, like love actually comes from a place of needing to be loved instead of already being loved. Majority of us, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously, are pursuing this encounter with someone, this relationship with someone from a place of not even knowing if we're loved or not. Looking for another person to confirm or validate through the way that they treat you, whether or not you're actually even loved, lovable, worthy of love, fill in the blank. And that's why a lot of, a lot of people um get shattered when relationships don't last, when they don't turn out the way that they plan for them to turn out, because we've allowed this to replace this.
Yeah. People
We look for who we are in each other instead of looking for who we are, in God.
in him. Yeah.
And
We've put people in the place of God.
yeah.
Yeah. People are never meant to be the foundation. They just can't hold it.
hmm
God asks to be the foundation of your life. But that's powerful. And you want to keep going on that? That's great.
No, I think for me, like healthy love, can really only come from one, knowing that you're already loved. You can only give somebody healthy love when you know that you're already loved outside of anything that they can do for you. And knowing isn't even enough. You actually have to believe it as well. And when you know and believe that you're already loved, period, it frees you to give love in the same way that you're loved. A lot of times, like I said, if you don't know you're loved, you're giving love to try to get a response that confirms that you're loved. So if you give and don't get, then you're you're
Manipulating.
you're manipulating. But I'm trying to think about what that actually does for you. It damages you
Yeah.
when you give and don't get, because you're giving from a place of needing something, not giving from a place of already having what you're giving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it makes sense. I remember in a previous relationship, it speaks to me. I remember this vividly because I had talked to my therapist about it and she
Mhm.
slapped me in the face with truth,
Yeah.
which by the way, if you don't have a therapist that can speak truth into your life, and truth is God's word, get one, because there's a lot of blind spots you're probably living with that you're not even aware of. And so my therapist, and thankfully we have that relationship where we can speak candidly, like, hey, if you want to be better, this is the advice.
Mhm.
You're paying me to be better, so here it is. And then I have to be humble enough to receive it.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember trying to work this out in my relationship before, and I went over this scenario um, with the woman I was dating at the time, and she asked if I could pick up our daughter because she had to stay at work late. I said, sure, of course. So I drive to pick up our daughter. And hey, let's stop at the store and pick up some food and make some dinner for mom, so that way she don't have to worry about anything. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah. And so we're like pumped about it because
Yeah.
we're doing something nice, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, she's gonna be so pumped. She's gonna be excited. She's gonna come in and give me a big hug and a kiss, slap me on the butt, say thank you, I love you, all this stuff because she saw what we were doing,
Mm.
right? And I call her up and I'm like, hey, what time do you think you're gonna be home? And that way I like prepared everything to be like just finishing up as she arrived. And we even got some flowers for her. We made it a whole like thing. And so I see her headlights pull in and like, all right, come get the flowers, give them to mom. And then she comes in, we give her the flowers, and I got dinner ready. She comes in. I didn't get my hug. I didn't get no kiss. I didn't get a thank you for cooking. I didn't get none of the stuff that I thought in my mind I was gonna get.
Mhm.
And then I had talked to her about it, and then it made it a whole deal. It ruined the night
Mm.
because, and so I had took that story to the therapist, our therapist, and the therapist looks at me and says, "You're wrong." I got pissed. I
Yeah.
said, "What?" I said, "What? I was wrong. How was I wrong? I went out and did all this stuff for her."
Yeah.
anyone who would say, "Thank you, I love you," slap me on the do something, show me you like see me. Come on now. Put in some work here.
Yeah.
And she like looked at me and said, "You were wrong." And I said, "What?" So you were manipulating her. And I said, "No, no. I wasn't manipulating her. I just did this because out of love." It's like, well, that's not love.
Mhm.
You don't do things to get things.
Yeah.
You just do things because it's out of love. You just
Yeah.
do them
Yeah.
to do them because you love that person genuinely.
Mhm.
And I wrestled with that for a month, just replaying that over. I'm like, nah, that can't be right. It just can't be right. Anyone would just say, "I love you" or "Thank you," right?
Mhm.
And then it finally just dawned on me that I was wrong
Yeah.
and I was manipulating. And it was, I didn't even mean to, like I didn't
Mhm.
even mean to manipulate in this situation. That wasn't my posture at all.
Mhm.
I just did it though.
Yeah.
And it broke me to think that, man, like I, because I ended up hurting her in the
Mhm.
in the midst of it all. And now I'm like, man, that was a miss. Like
Mhm.
I've heard this before. Sometimes your intentions don't have the right impact.
Yeah.
That was my impact was completely off, even though my intentions were good.
Mhm.
I had the right intentions to show her love, but the impact was far from it.
Yeah.
And it damaged everybody because of it. And it just destroyed me to think that, like, man, like, how many of us are going through that?
Mhm. Oh man, that's deep. I think a couple things come to mind. One is that love doesn't give to get. It gives to give. Like when you know it's love when you give for the sake of giving. You look at the person you're giving to and you're giving to them to bless them. You're not even thinking about yourself. That's love. And it's deep how you said you had the right intentions, but still, you know, didn't have the impact that you were trying to have. And I think about the fact that we're not bad people. We're just doing love wrong. Doing love wrong doesn't make you a bad person. But if you don't understand how to do love right, you're gonna have bad outcomes when it comes to love.
Yeah.
And it boils down to the fact that we're all born with a nature that is opposite of love through the fall, through what Adam and Eve did in the garden. Every human that gets born is born in a sin nature. In simplified terms, a selfish nature, a self centered nature, a nature that does things with the motive of self in mind. That's the nature. That's why you don't even think about it. It's just in you to want to get when you give. That's the human nature that we were born in through Adam. And that's why it's so important to get born again because, you know, surrendering your life to Jesus and choosing to follow Jesus and even undergoing water baptism, all of that stuff is important because the baptism underwater symbolizes dying to that nature. Everything you were born into, dying to that. And as you rise up, you rise up to new life in Christ. That means new nature, new way of thinking, new mindsets. You're empowered through the Holy Spirit to put off selfish nature. It's still in your flesh, but now through the Holy Spirit, you're empowered to make new decisions and to have a new motive. And when that selfish motive rises up, you can die to it. A lot of times we do love wrong because we're ignorant of the nature that's in us. And if you don't know something that's in you, how are you going to address it or do what you need to do to, fix it? Um, so I think that's super deep, man, that we have to understand that at the root of this is it's a spiritual thing, a spiritual issue when it comes to doing love wrong. And we can't do it right without God, you
Yeah.
know?
For me, on my journey of discovering what love is, I had to truly humble myself, right? Because I think that if I think that there's nothing wrong with me and I'm doing the things right and she was wrong or whatever,
Mhm.
like that's not even love, you
Yeah.
know? I had to humble myself to see what is it that I'm doing or not doing, because love is an act and it's a choice, and I was missing the mark.
Mhm.
I was just missing the mark because my actions, again, were pointing to self. I needed a hug. I needed a kiss. I
Mhm.
needed a slap on the butt, whatever. Right. I needed that, or I don't feel this way, or I don't do like that's that's not love. And so I had to humble myself to understand that I was just doing it wrong. And I had to apologize, say I'm sorry. And as I did this, and it's constantly refining yourself, like
Mhm.
within God's work and his love, and he constantly keeps showing you these things like, hey, you were wrong here, go say sorry. And
Yeah.
if you're too prideful to say sorry, that's a you issue that you need to
Mhm.
work on. And so that's he's trying to work on that. And then you, or maybe you do go say sorry, and then you see a little fruit come from that. And then God just continues to take you one step at a time to get you closer to love,
Yeah.
as long as you're willing to see it and
Mhm.
listen. Like you said earlier, like we always, human beings have a me mentality.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what God's calling us to do is love each other, but we can't love each other properly if we're too busy loving ourselves or feeding our flesh, our feelings, or whatever it is. And God calls us to die to that,
Mhm.
because he knows if we're only feeding that, we can't love properly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I think we we just have to be mindful that there are levels to love. There's levels. God is actually calling us to be able to mature in our ability to give love. And a lot of times going back to a little bit about what we talked about on they lied to us about Love Pod. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But we have been tricked into pursuing falling in love and not maturing in our ability to choose to love. There's a big difference between falling in love and choosing to love. Choosing to love takes maturity.
Yeah.
It takes your ability to make a decision despite how you feel. Falling in love is all about how you feel. It's all about how the person makes you feel. It's all about the romance. It's all about the butterflies. It's all about the little things that excite you and appeal to your senses and appeal to the emotional man or woman that you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's the foundation you're building love on, you're in for a treat because it's going to get rocky. It's going to get very rocky because you're only doing as good as the other person is treating you
Wow.
in the relationship. So you've not only cut off your ability to love the way God loves, but you've also made that other person Lord of your life
Wow.
without even realizing it. They've become Lord. If they're not treating me right, I'm not good. And it'll affect your whole disposition. It'll affect your whole perception on life, on your day. It'll affect your moods. It'll affect everything. And the only individual that's supposed to have that type of power and authority over you is the Lord. He's supposed to be the one that impacts all that. But we've given that power over to a person because we don't understand what love really is. And Satan is and the enemy of our lives is licking his chops, sitting back, enjoying popcorn, watching everything play out because he knows we're ignorant of that falling in love is actually a device that he's used and twisted and perverted in a way to where we're trying to find our identities and our well-being in people, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
I think that's powerful. I think that's the direction of the pod, is really finding love in him.
Yeah.
Because when you find love in him, I'm not talking about a romantic, hey, love, all right, I found my person, we're gonna do life together, and this is how I need to treat them. In order to treat them well, I need to know who God is and I need to receive love from him.
Hmm.
And I think that, like, that's great and all, but we really need to understand before you get into a relationship, you're already loved.
Yep. That's
You're
it.
already called. You have everything that you need. God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you are called to him.
Yeah.
And when you're called to him, Matthew 6:33, seek the kingdom first and all things shall be added. Then your spouse can come. But when the spouse comes, you know how to love them correctly because you've seen it exampled from the Father, your Abba, the Heavenly Father, the source of love. God is love. If you don't know God, you don't know really love.
Hmm.
And that was my issue. I needed to know God loved me because I was relying on people to fulfill my cup.
Yeah.
When that was God's, that was his position in my life. That
Hmm.
was his job. And he wants to. I just was stiff arming him and
Yeah.
saying, nope, this person can do it.
Yeah. You was taking your cup and giving it to a person.
Yeah. And it caused so much damage. And that wasn't my intent.
Hmm.
And so I think getting people to the place of understanding that the people that you've placed in your life may have damaged that for you.
Hmm.
But there's good news. There's good news because we're going to take that cup back. That cup that you were trying to get filled by people, we're going to take it back and we're going to give it to the rightful person.
Yeah.
The person who knows how to love you properly. He knows exactly what you need and he knows how to give it to you in a way that is peaceful and is perfect in his timing. And he's going to address any issues that you may have picked up along your journey.
Hmm.
And he's going to speak life into them. And he's going to love you through them. And we can find our feet and our lives now set on a solid foundation
Mm.
built on love. Life becomes really easy when you understand that all I'm really supposed to do is love God. And when I love God and he loves me back, I can give that freely. Then I'm called to love my neighbor.
Mm.
But I can't love my neighbor without knowing what love looks like. And we get that from an authentic relationship with God.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good, man. And I think we rush love. We've been taught to, if it feels right, go. And that's not wisdom at all. Scripture actually says, don't awaken love before it's time. There is a lot of complications that come from awakening love before it's time. And how do you know it's time? You're mature. It's not about where you guys are at in your relationship. It's about where you're at in your personal walk with the Lord. You are mature enough to handle the responsibility of awakening love in somebody. And because when those emotions get awakened, they're going to they're going to encourage responses. They're going to create bonds and connection, and they're going to create the potential for damage and destruction if you don't steward that well and responsibly. So it's super important that we take the time. And most people don't take the time as a single person and wholeheartedly pursue the Lord and learn what it means to actually be loved by him and allow that process to mature you in your understanding and your ability to choose love. Meaning, when life, lies, and all kinds of situations try to convince me that I'm not loved, I'm in relationship with the Lord and I'm allowing him to teach me that no, you are loved. This is why, this is how, those are lies. As you grow up and mature in that, your ability to receive his love becomes stronger. And once you're mature in the fact where you know you're loved by him, you believe you're loved by him, and you're living your life from a place of being loved, then you're mature enough to actually awaken love in a person to person relationship. But we do it backwards. We're not loved by him in our minds. We don't know it. We don't believe it. We pursue a person. They don't know it or believe it. So we're trying to know it and believe it in each other, but we don't even know how to give it the right way. So it's just a cycle of giving to get, giving to get. You didn't give me, I'm not giving you. I'm giving you, I'm expecting you to give me. If you don't give me, you ain't getting. And it's a mess. It's
Yeah.
a hot mess. And God is sitting there saying, this wasn't my design.
Then it's a performance-based love at that
It's
point.
bad. It's conditional. It's based on your expectations, and it's based on receiving. It's selfish, self-centered, and it's not the way God designed love to be.
You should be at peace with yourself before you get into a relationship rather than striving to make someone your peace, because when they leave, guess what? You're going back to not being peaceful again because you never had it in the first place. And a lot of people find identity in their relationship and they go strive. "Oh, I'm not worthy because no one's chosen me yet. And so someone who's the the design for God or for all of us is to just be with God, understand who we are. We get our identity through him and from him. We're supposed to get our love from him, our example from him. Everything that we need comes from him. And if we're not tapped in that relationship and being a good steward to what he's already given us, you should know that by the fruit on how they conduct their life. And they're just not ready yet. So that you can see if they're mature in Christ and in themselves to pursue them. If someone's single right now and they desire to have, they're pursuing God and they desire to have a godly relationship, like what would you tell them? How would you encourage them to pursue not only themselves, but a relationship?
Um, well, you have to be, because I don't want people to think that maturity is a place you arrive to. What I'm learning personally is maturity is choosing truth when the lie is present. A lot of people think maturity is the lie doesn't present itself anymore, or I'm not susceptible to the lie. No, the lie is going to be there every time. It's going the devil is is roaming around like a roaring lion, looking for who he can devour. He is looking for a crack in, and in relationships, he's always looking for a way in. So maturity, you shouldn't even be pursuing a relationship, honestly, if when the lie gets presented, you're not mature enough to choose the truth in the face of the lie. And, you know,
How does someone choose truth over the lie?
uh,
How does someone identify the truth versus going with their feelings and just going with the lie? Like that, to me, that's a battle,
yeah.
right? Right. So if we're going through something in a relationship, your knee jerk reaction, like you said, we're born into the sinful nature and it's a me mentality. If that triggered that event triggered something in me, I'm probably going to be faced with
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to like follow my feelings and my flesh and or to try to figure out what's true in this situation and the actions I need to take.
Yeah. No, it's a lot more difficult to figure out the truth in the midst of a relationship because
Mm.
you have to consider the other person. And there's a lot more room for Satan to get in and use either of you. When it's just you and the Lord, you can, really focus on your relationship with God. Paul talks about it like, uh, there are, it's, I don't want to misquote it, but he's talking about the benefits of being single and not rushing into marriage because you can devote your time and attention to the Lord and what He's calling you to do and who He's calling you to become. When you're in the context of a relationship, you have that responsibility, but you also have to consider the other person and what they may need from you, what they, um, you got to take responsibility to cultivate and grow that relationship. So there's just a lot more responsibility that can distract you from getting to spend time with the Lord and knowing the truth. So it's important to actually have a firm foundation of what's true already in you before you get into a relationship. How do you do that? By learning and growing in the Lord, reading the word, spending time with him, spending intimate prayer with him so he can uh show you the areas that he wants to do a work in you, the things in you that aren't going to be conducive or have a positive impact on relationships. He can show you those things while you're single and help you to work through healing and being delivered and believing the truth about those things, because the reason why those things are affecting you is because there's a lie in there somewhere that you've believed. So the lie has to be exposed, and then you have to do the active work to deal with it. The Lord will partner with you in that, but there's a responsibility that you have to do too in that. But how can you do all of that and be trying to love somebody and be working through areas that they need to heal in? So a lot of times both people are pouring stuff into the relationship from those wounds, so it just becomes very difficult to do all of that at the same time. Not saying it's impossible. I don't recommend it, but I don't, because
Yeah.
I've tried to
Yeah.
do it before, and it's very difficult. It ends up causing a lot of damage to both people.
Yeah, because you end up starting pouring from your own cup, and when you're starting to pour from your own cup, that leaves you more empty,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of relying on them to fill your cup back up, when that should never be the case in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be giving from an overflow because you have an abundance, because that's God's nature, and He's supposed to be your source, not the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're connected to the source, I can love you freely and not worry about whether or not I get something back in return.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what you're talking about is, hey, we're trying to heal each other's wounds while as we go through this, because we have good intent. I
Mm-hmm.
have good intent for you.
Yep. Good
But
desires.
yeah,
You want things to work out well, but you're not mature enough to actually make the decisions that are going to produce a healthy relationship.
and this is popping into my mind too. As far as, like you said, you may just be ignorant in how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to help that person, and they maybe want to help you. But this image popped into my mind of a doctor. If you came to me and and something happened to you and you needed some emergency surgery
Mm-hmm.
and you came to me, I'd be like, bro, I got you. My intent is to make you well and whole,
Mm-hmm.
fix you up good, right? But I don't know how to do that.
You done gave me 16 infections.
I'm ignorant. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could have died. You could have infections. And it's not because I didn't care.
Yeah. You didn't have the skills.
I just didn't. I'm ignorant on how to do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you're talking about, is understanding, getting your wisdom
Mm-hmm.
before you step into a relationship, because there are going to be some wounds that each person brings into the relationship.
Yep.
And with God, you can have the wisdom on how to address it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things God walked me through personally, in the midst of relationships, trying to do it and heal at the same time, like trying to cultivate this godly relationship, but heal my wounds, help her heal from her wounds, let her help me heal from my wounds. Like, God asked me, what does your I love you even mean? Because you guys are saying it, but what does it actually mean when you say that? And I'm like, wow, that's deep. Because we've been trained to just say it. When we feel a certain way, say it. When we've reached a certain amount of time in the relationship, say it. If the other person says it, say it. And then none of those are the right reasons to say it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, our I love you actually has an underlying selfish meaning behind it. For a
Yeah.
lot of people, and for me personally, for a long time, my I love you meant, do you love me?
Do you love me? Powerful.
That's what my I love you meant for a long time in my life. Anytime I would say it, I'm sitting here waiting to hear it back. Now,
Yeah.
if I don't hear it back, wait a minute.
Yeah. You're no longer chosen.
Yeah.
You're no longer seen.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden triggers are
Yeah.
popping off.
Another one. Do you love how I make you feel? It's another thing my I love you used to mean. Another one. Do you need me? Those are all questions that spring forth from an abandonment wound in my life. And God had to show me that. And I had to invite him into those areas to help me deal with those wounds. And some of those wounds are still there, but now I have truth. When those questions pop up, if I have a desire to say I love you, and the question of do you love me pops up in my spirit, I can cancel that out. God, you love me. I'm already loved. I can give this I love you out freely. I don't, if the person doesn't say it back, that's fine because I'm giving it to them to let them know they're loved.
It's a gift.
Yeah, not to try to validate that I'm loved. You do love me. You know? And it's deep. Some people's I love yous mean I need you to love me. I'm saying it to you because I need you to say it back. It's not even in nowhere. I think the intention is good because they want to make you feel good, but that intention is not as great as their need for you to say it back. Because if they say it and you don't say it, it's an issue. It'll immediately turn into an issue. They might say it again. I love you.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, it's like then the energy in the room shifts. Because then it becomes pressure. Wait a minute, wait, do you love me or you just want me to say I love you back? Nobody and not a lot of people come out and have this conversation, but it's happening on the inside.
Yeah.
You two people will be in the room and they're both having internal conversations about what's happening, but not talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how without it turning into a big old fight. But at the root of it is a selfish motive that has to be dealt with. Until we all address that selfishness and find an answer, which is truth, we're going to be in that cycle of selfish love. It's going to cause so much damage, man. So,
yeah, I think anyone who's ever been in a relationship has that exact situation happen. The whole "I love you" dance and trying to
Yeah.
like, "Hey, do you need me? Do you love me? Do you see me?
Yeah.
Do you choose me?" And it's like, oh
Mm.
man, now that you say that, that brings light into what I was feeling. You know, I think a lot of listeners can be like grateful that you shared that because it helps them kind of dissect what love is and what it's not. And when you say it, what does that actually mean? And so when you say it, what I've learned is I've had to change the definition of love for myself.
Mm.
When I look to if I'm like we've talked about this, all right, we're pursuing God, and God is our foundation, God is truth, God is love. How does God's actions show us love? Because God always talks about actions over word. He doesn't take away from the word. He says there's power of life and death within the word, but he said you will know them by their fruit. What do they produce? So you have to not only know truth and speak truth, but your actions will show where your heart is.
Yeah.
Because it says like your actions, um, it was talking about the fig tree producing fruit in
Mhm.
even out of season, you know, and so you're supposed to be producing this fruit that's good, which we've talked about before. Um, and so we look to God on His actions of what love is,
Yeah.
and for us as believers, it's the cross. There says there's no greater sacrifice or no greater show of love than one sacrificing their life. No one can show you a better, give you any type of higher form of love than that.
Yeah.
And it it it, it changed a lot for me from the feelings because I don't feel like dying. I don't feel like dying for somebody.
Mhm.
But wait, if you're not willing to die for that person, do you really love them?
Yeah.
And that kind of slapped me in the face too. It's like, because I was doing the dance thing of like, I love you. Do you love me? And I'll do this if you do that for me. Like that's how I was leading relationships, which caused a lot of damage.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I changed the definition of what love was for me personally. Love is a choice, it's an everyday thing, and it's a sacrifice. It's doing, it's probably calling you to do something that you don't want to do. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to go say I'm sorry because I messed up.
Mhm.
It means that I'm going to do things my way because it makes me feel better. I'm going to serve myself and not take care of you.
Mhm.
Like, and I just thought about that like, man, love is deep in regards to what it's calling you to.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can truly love and serve somebody is to forget and to die to your needs.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's deep, man. I think as I was like processing this whole I love you and what it should mean, like God revealed to me like what I if you're gonna say I love you to somebody, and this is romantic, familial, friendship, like this is actually what it should mean. This should be the motive and heart posture you have when you say it. I love you should mean I'm committed to giving you what you need when you need it. And that's according to your best interests in God's eyes, not in the eyes of man.
That's powerful.
Isn't that deep?
Yeah, that's powerful. And I might have you read that again because people will manipulate
Yep.
you with the I love you
Yeah.
to get what they
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we've been in that situation, especially, hey, it says in the Bible.
Yeah. There we go. Here we go. Using the word, twisting the word around.
Yes. Yes. So, like, that's powerful. Go ahead and read that again because I think that it's important to understand that truth that what you're saying in God's.
Hmm.
And so say that part again.
Yeah. So I love you should mean I'm committed to giving you what you need when you need it, according to what's in your best interest in God's eyes.
In God's eyes.
So that could mean having an uncomfortable conversation with you because you need to hear the truth. And God is saying they need to hear the truth. And you said you love them, so you're going to give them what they need. It could mean saying I'm sorry to them when you mess up. It could mean hugging them and holding them and just listening to them in moments where that's what they need. It's not about what you want to give, it's about what they actually need according to God in the situation. Love and just to dive a little bit deeper, love gives what the situation needs, despite how I feel or if you deserve it or have earned it from me.
Mm.
That's why it takes maturity to love because you choose it. Doesn't matter how I feel, doesn't matter what you did to me, doesn't matter how upset I am. God says you need this. So I'm mature enough to listen to him and give it to you from that place. And I'm empowered to give it to you because I know he's done it for me. The same love he's needing me to give to you, he's given to me every day of my life. Specifically in situations when I needed it. He's always giving me what I need. And I mess up with him all the time. And he's
Yeah.
not going to withhold what I need in the situation. Not what I want. He'll withhold that. And it's okay for us to not give somebody what they want either if it's not actually in their best interest according to God. That's love. Deep. It's deep. Ain't got nothing to do with feelings. It's choosing according to the situation to give what the person needs in God's eyes. And it's deep because God's the only one who can see and know the motive of the heart. And that's why being mature, a mature person says, I'm not going to manipulate because God knows. The person might not know I'm getting away with it with the person, but God knows. And I'm not getting away with it with him.
Yeah.
So this is not going to produce good fruit if the motive's wrong because God knows. I can't get away with it. So we should be growing in our ability to be able to give that kind of love. And that takes intentionality, that takes connection and relationship with God so that he can grow you and mature you in your ability to choose it. Because it's amazing how pride, wounds from the past, feelings in the present will all try to get in the way of us giving the person what they need according to God. We'll convince ourselves out of that quick based on selfishness and based on all those things that we've been talking about. So
Yeah. What's occurring to me is just the source of giving love to somebody else is your ability to receive love from God.
mhm, that's good.
And that's just so powerful to me that we really need to understand that we have access to freedom within love, within our identity of who we are. And God's asking to give us all of this goodness. He doesn't even want us to know evil. The process of God, he says, don't have sex before you get married. Why? Because then you start comparing other people, other partners that you've been with now to the person that you're marrying.
Mhm.
And then when you start comparing, guess what? The whole comparison is a thief of joy, but there's a spiritual wound that you take from that previous relationship into your marriage. And so, which that's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm getting at is we don't take the time to really mature, like you're talking about, as a single individual to mature in the love that God actually has for us. And I really hope that this podcast like if you're in this season of singleness and you're listening to this and you've identified that you haven't taken the time to mature there and you are seeking validation from the other person,
Mm,
to pause,
that's good.
and to get back into a relationship with him and have him speak to the wounds that you may have received from people,
Yeah.
right? From well-intentioned people that had a miss on the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're taking those those wounds from that impact and you're trying to heal them with a person, and it's not going to happen and it's not going to work. And so, like, man, really pulling ourselves into a moment of just solitude to self-reflect on where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can authentically ask ourselves and just truthfully ask yourself, get into that quiet place, get away from the noise, and ask yourself, where am I at?
Yeah, that's
And
good.
understanding what love is, and where am I receiving the love, and all of these questions that we've talked about. What does love mean to me?
Mhm. What
What
does my I love you mean?
Yeah.
All of that is
Yeah, am
powerful.
I saying that to get something? And if I am, what am I needing? And why am I placing that need on them?
That's good.
And why am I not getting it from the everlasting love, the love that will never leave me nor forsake me, the love that never runs out, true love, the source.
I ain't talking about tales as old as time. Is that Beauty and the Beast?
I don't know. Well, that sounded amazing.
I'm not talking about the Disney love. I'm not talking about a whole new world. I'm not talking about any of that stuff that we've been taught and we've been shown as love. The stuff that makes you feel, no. We're talking about the everlasting love. God so loved the world that he gave. He gave. He didn't say he gave expecting to get back. Gave his only son.
Death.
Didn't and gave him just to give us the opportunity to choose him.
Gift.
Didn't give him and forced us to choose him.
Free will.
Powerful.
It's powerful. It's really powerful. And so if you're hearing this, there's a gift that he's trying to give you. And it's love, true love.
Mm-hmm.
And within that gift comes freedom. And you can't find it anywhere else. You cannot find it anywhere else. You can't find it in another person. You can't find it in a bottle. You can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about that is you just have to go to him and ask for it. It's free.
That's it.
That's why you have free will to go to him. There's no shame. There's no condemnation. It's all love.
Facts.
And he says, come to me. He's been waiting to take whatever it is that you've been carrying that wasn't meant for you. He's ready to take that from you so he can, he'll show you love through it all.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, I think to wrap up this conversation, just want everybody to know and just to not be naive to the fact that they lied to us about love. They did. They lied to us about love. But the good news is there is truth that is available to set us free. God loves us. He died for us to give us an opportunity to come back to him and to be retrained in the way that we should go and the way that we're supposed to live this life down here. And love is a pivotal piece of it. I'm just going to leave it with that. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah. And we know, and the way that we show him love is by actions. All right, God, I hear what you're calling me to do. You don't let it die there.
Yeah.
You have to take action on what he's calling you to. I don't know what he's calling you to, but you do. And the way that you show God that you love him is by doing. And so whatever he's calling you to, be bold and step into it.
Yeah, that's good.
And what we know about love is there's perfect love casts out all fear, right? And so he's calling you to a place, but don't focus on the thing, that the place, focus on him. Understand that he is going to be there with you. Focus on him, and whatever he's pulling you through, whatever storm, whatever damage, whatever broken identity, whatever lies, he's going to see you through it.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't stay there. Keep moving towards him. He's going to bring you through all of that.
Yeah.
And on the end of it, it's going to be something only God can give you. So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to step into that.
That's powerful. All right, man. No, this was a fire episode, fire topic. I think we're good though. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Welcome to the family. Yeah. I had to let my old people go. Pray they don't get mad.